Alright, in this session we're going to talk about microphones. The element inside that microphone that converts sound waves into an electrical signal is called a transducer. That's a transducer. It sounds like a flux capacitor. So audio is the movement of air. That's really what audio is. They actually say it's the compression and rarefaction of the air. So when the air moves and it kind of goes up and down, right? If you push something, it comes back. That's a scientific principle. There are three types of microphones or transducers contained inside microphones: dynamic, condenser, ribbon. But here we show sound waves coming and hitting a microphone, and in this particular case, this type of microphone transducer, and it requires electricity, is called a condenser. C-O-N-D-E-N-S-E-R. The condenser transducer, or the condenser microphone, has two plates. The front one is a diaphragm that moves with the audio waves. The back plate remains stationary. It is electrical. A condenser microphone has an electrical transducer. All right, condenser microphones require 48 volts of phantom power. Technically, it doesn't have to be exactly 48 volts, but that's what they've all settled on. And that is 48 volts of phantom power that can come from the mixer or from a battery. It is called phantom power. Isn't that a cool name? Phantom power. If you have a condenser microphone and it is not powered up, it's just dead. It's a brick. It won't do anything. So you have to have a battery and or a signal coming down the microphone cable from your audio mixer that powers it up. Okay, this type of microphone transducer uses a durable diaphragm. It's the most durable of the microphones in my opinion. It's called dynamic, D-Y-N-A-M-I-C. Okay, and this kind of transducer has sound waves that come and hit a diaphragm and the coil, and they vibrate and send a signal. It's kind of like having those kettle drums that you've seen, the timpani. And if you hit that drum head, boom, right, it vibrates. And those drum heads are pretty durable. That's why this microphone is often used as a handheld. You can move it around a lot. It's not very delicate. You can drop the mic, as you've heard, and sometimes they survive. Most other microphones, you drop the mic, you're out several $100s. And the most common microphone is the Shure SM58. The dynamic microphone, or the transducer inside the dynamic microphone, works with a diaphragm that vibrates with sound waves, and then that vibration is carried through a coil that moves back and forth as well inside a magnet. Okay, this type of microphone transducer is the most fragile. It's a ribbon microphone. And I always think that it probably really did start out as literally a ribbon. The ribbon microphone has a thin sheet of aluminum foil, essentially, in between a magnet, and that thin sheet of aluminum vibrates with a lot of sensitivity to the sound pressure. Because it is so sensitive, it's also one of the best for capturing all the little nuances of sound. I think of a scientist sitting at a dinner date, and he sees the waiter brushing by his girlfriend's hair, and her ribbon blows in the hair, just her ribbon in her hair blows in the wind just a little bit every time the waiter goes by. And he gets the idea and he says, "Dear, let me see your ribbon." She's like, "What? No, I'm eating here." "No, let me see your ribbon." "What are you doing?" Takes the ribbon and holds it up and, "I've got an idea. What if I can convert those vibrations in the ribbon into a sound signal that we can record?" So I think that's the oldest one, actually. The oldest transducer is a ribbon. And it's very accurate, and it is very fragile. We have two ribbon transducers here, and they are, one of them is the most expensive microphone we own. It's about an $800 microphone, so they can be very expensive. What is a Lavalier? Well, it's a lady who rides side saddle in the cavalry. Come on, Walker. No, it's not. That's one of my lame jokes. I don't give you a lot of lame jokes, but there's one and it's free. It sounds like it though. It sounds like, hey ladies and gentlemen, please welcome for your halftime entertainment, the Lavaliers. I'm going to shut up. That's really what a lavalier is. They sometimes call it a lapel mic. It's the type of microphone you would clip to your lapel. A lavalier. Hopefully you know how to spell it. And if you don't, look it up because I'm not going to help you. I'll give you a hint. Lavalier. How's that? A microphone useful for picking up a sound source at 3 feet. Wow. That's about the sound source that we have right now. The microphone on the camera is about 5 feet away. But I wished I had one of these. I actually opted not to put that on the camera today. It's called a shotgun microphone. It's really actually called a hypercardioid pattern or supercardioid. But we just lovingly refer to it as a shotgun because it's like you can pick something up like a long distance, like you're holding the barrel of a shotgun. So if I'm going to be any further away from the camera than I am right now, I'd absolutely need a shotgun microphone. Because as you'll notice, we'll even hear this proximity effect. The closer I get, the better the sound is. You can tell a big difference, right? If you have a very simple microphone, a regular handheld microphone, you can't pick me up very well at 3 feet. You don't see rock and roll singers taking their microphone they've been singing to and putting it out there 3 feet away and trying to sing to it. That's when you need a shotgun microphone. On the other hand, the good old Shure SM57 or 58 model of microphones, you see those all over the place. Those are handheld, handheld. You hold those in your hand and you keep them close to your mouth. Okay, let's actually show the pickup patterns. I want you to know these so well that you can draw them yourself. There's that shotgun. So the idea is it's kind of like a flashlight or a lightsaber. It picks up out in this direction. The physics are kind of weird because it actually picks up a little bit like right here too, but basically the idea is you're pointing at someone 3 feet away. That would be your typical handheld like that Shure SM57. I put this up above it. They call it a cardioid. It's kind of like an upside down heart. So it picks up around the microphone like this to about 5 inches, really. Much more than 5 inches, you start to lose the signal. Omnidirectional. Who can guess what direction that picks up in? All directions. That's what omni means. Everything all. So it's like putting a ball over the microphone, and that's where it picks up. It picks up everywhere around the microphone. A bidirectional is like a bicycle. You can picture the pickup patterns coming out both sides of this capsule. Really, it's 2 microphones in one. That's really what it is. It's kind of cheating to say it's a microphone. It's really 2 microphones. They're like housed inside this capsule and they're picking up left and right, for example. You could have 2 people singing on either side. I very rarely use a bidirectional microphone. I just use 2 microphones and have control. But you can if you want to. That one happens to be a very, very expensive microphone. Maybe $2,000, that model right there. But you just need to know those are the pickup patterns. If it's cardioid, it picks up mostly in front, a little bit on the sides, but it kind of goes out in the front about 5 inches. Omnidirectional, well, usually the cardioid pattern can go further. So if you have a hypercardioid or a supercardioid, it's kind of like it really picks up like this, but at like 2 to 3 feet. Okay, omnidirectional is like putting the ball over the microphone. It just picks up everywhere. And bidirectional on the 2 sides. And then I ask you to draw them. You ever seen someone step up to a mic and the mic makes a little explosion when they talk into it? I'm pleased to be here. Boom, and it goes, oh, right? That's because you're letting out a little bit of a plosive air. Those are called plosives. The letters P, B. Put your hand up to your mouth and feel yourself say peanuts, peanuts, peanut butter. Peanut butter, the P comes out a lot harder than the B, but even when saying butter, you can feel a little bit of air coming out of your mouth, right? So P, B, K, T, those are plosive consonants. And I've always said this to my students, if we're at an assembly and someone blows up the mic, I'm here to show student power. And poof, the mic blows up. not the mic, but the sound, right? I've always said I will give a candy to anyone that will raise their hand or stand up in the audience and say, "That's a plosive!" You'd have to be such a nerd, but I get such a kick out of it. To put this in front of the microphone is how you filter out the plosives. She's got this little windscreen here. What that is it's a ring, and then stretched across the ring is a fabric that I like to call, looks like pantyhose. Someone's black pantyhose is stretched across that screen right there, and it still allows the sound through, but it stops the air or the wind from going through. That's called a pop filter. A pop filter. So you can also use it for your can of soda pop. You get that Coke, you put the pop filter in between, get the glass down there, and it'll filter out the caffeine. Just pour it through there and then throw away the pop filter.